Sooner Virginia got at us. His great unknown. Can Oklahoma's offensive line gel and make them a dangerous team on both sides of the ball? Some of y'all are saying, what are you talking about? So Oklahoma, essentially, they're having to replace the whole offensive line. All right? So that's not necessarily a situation you want to be in, having to build a new boat as you move into the monsoon that is the SEC. It is what it is. The good news for Oklahoma fans and the good news for, Jackson Arnold, quite frankly, they're deep at a lot of other spots. Like the defense brings back 79% production from last year's unit. That was really solid. I think they have one of the deepest skill units in the entire country with the running back and wide receiver room, respectively. We've talked about Deion Burks a lot, transfer wide receiver from Purdue who lit the spring game on fire. He's a stud. Javonte Barnes, Gavin Sawchuk at running back, Angelo Anthony at wide receiver. Like, I keep going down the list here. We could name a lot of dudes for Oklahoma that can hurt you offensively. But, of course, the issue with that prerequisite is you're not able to get those guys the football if you can't block for Jackson Arnold or if you can't block for Gavin Sawchuk or Javonte Barnes to pound the rock a little bit, right? That's pretty much the situation we find ourselves in. The offensive line is going to give us the ability, if we're Oklahoma, to turn the key a little bit, jiggle a little bit because it's a little bit stuck. Okay, now we got it. We unlocked the whole offense. And a lot of folks are saying, well, Jackson Arnold isn't going to be any good. You see that game against Arizona, all the turnovers. It's a hater-like mentality. That is bowl syndrome, which we are very much so against on this show. If you're new to the show, welcome. Bowl syndrome for us is you make a definitive statement and you extrapolate your take for the entirety of their upcoming season based on a one-game sample size, a bowl game sample size at the end of last year. Jackson Arnold, I believe, will be better than he showed in that bowl game against Arizona. I actually came away from that bowl game against Arizona, if I'm an Oklahoma fan, saying, okay, the turnovers, we hate that. However, we can fix that. The good, I think, from Jackson Arnold, you saw a lot of flashes. So I think if you're able to protect him, might be cooking a little bit with grease. If Oklahoma has a, let's just say, top third of the SEC offensive line, how good are they? I think they're a 9-10 win football team. Now, the reality is, if they don't put that side of the ball together, they don't put that unit together on the offensive line, it's going to be a long season. Because the mission for Oklahoma in 2024, you got to score to win games. You're not going to win ugly a whole lot in the SEC. It'll happen, but it's not going to happen a lot with Oklahoma's schedule. Tennessee, Texas, Ole Miss, Missouri, Alabama, LSU, all those teams are going to score points. All right, all those teams you got to be able to keep pace with. If they can't, it's going to be tough. We've talked about this a few times on this show. I want to say it one more time. If you're Oklahoma now in the SEC, you get one chance to make a first impression. Like when you met your girlfriend's dad for the first time, you get one first handshake. Can't go in there floppy fish, all right? That first impression is going to be hard to wipe from the memory. Go in there, firm handshake, make a good first impression, look him in the eye. Same thing for Oklahoma in the SEC, man. For recruits, what Oklahoma does this first year will set the course for how they recruit, I believe, for at least the 2025 class, maybe beyond. Because if you go out there and you win 7 games and don't look great up front, people aren't going to be interested in the context of, well, we had to replace our whole offensive line. What they're going to be saying is, well, Oklahoma must be soft. Oklahoma can't run the ball. Oklahoma can't protect their quarterback. Is that fair? Absolutely not. Is that what they'll say? You betcha. So, again, I think Oklahoma, the potential is there. If the O-line is able to hold serve, 9-10 win football team, for my money. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.